a penalty shootout, they showed that fairy tales could come true. It was the ultimate cup romance story. But lightning surely doesn't strike twice, or does it? The Kirkcaldy public who turned out for the civic reception after the Coca-Cola Cup triumph surely couldn't have dreamt a cup double was possible.
Yeah, you're still in a chance. You get a home draw against Airdrie, and as hard as it's going to be, you're still in a fighting chance. And while you're still in a chance, everybody will still be talking about it. But it's certainly one where we're not overconfident with ourselves, you know, but we can't avoid people talking about it. But with the home draw, like I said, you're still in a chance.
11,000 Raith Rovers fans celebrated that Coca-Cola Cup win at Ibrox. It's safe to say the town of Kirkcaldy will be virtually empty if their team makes the Tennent's Scottish Cup final in May, especially if they've also won promotion.
I think it's great because I think there's a wee air of depression, especially after winning the Coca-Cola. There's this build-up that you've still got a wee chance of, it's our own wee treble. I know that win the first division if we can. But there's that much hype about it and interest in it that if we get beat in the next round, there'll be a wee bit of depression in the RFM too. Nobody likes losing, and especially when you get a chance and you're home against a first division club. But I don't think that'll last too long because, like I said, we're still in a great chance of achieving a couple of things anyway.
No matter what happens in the Cup, Jimmy Nicholl will have problems retaining some of his outstanding youngsters, like Colin Cameron and under-21 international Steve Crawford.
Well, in fairness to the young lads concerned, and one of them being Stevie Crawford, after the final, there was a couple of offers come in for him, which I think affected him, because we weren't sitting in a very healthy position in the league. I think he thought to himself, well, I've proved that I've been the Scotland under-21s, I've scored in the final, I've played against Premier League clubs, and I think he was going into games wondering who was sitting watching him. But with the position we're in now, a chance of promotion still in the Scottish Cup, he's told me, he says, no, I'm just going to sit here, things are going well here, and if it happens for me in the summer, it happens. If it doesn't, well, as a club, we're going in the right direction anyway, so he's going to lose.
But perhaps the hottest property at Starks Park is the manager himself. Jimmy Nicholl is now tipped for every top job which becomes available, having lost out controversially last year for the Northern Ireland manager's post.
Well, I don't, never trouble. The trouble troubles you. It's never bothered me. It's just one of these things, you know, in the media and the press. As soon as something happens at other clubs, you get a mention. You're flattered to get a mention, but it doesn't worry a life out of me. It just enhances the atmosphere here because it gives the players an opportunity to have a wee snidey remark here now, you know, so it doesn't bother me.
League meeting to come, and who knows, maybe a cup replay as well.
Unthinkable surely for the skipper to miss. But he has! Raith Rovers have won the Coca-Cola Cup!
Young Fifers Jason Dare and Stevie Crawford still need to see the silverware to believe it actually happened. They were both just 20 when Raith shocked Scottish football.
The day itself was a magnificent experience. I mean, for a young boy, it's all you ever want to do when you can play football. For me, I hadn't really been playing very often, and the manager just told us on a Saturday night, so I was nervous, and I think it showed when you seen it on the telly. And I kind of stopped watching it as well.
When Celtic scored, I can remember looking up at the scoreboard and seeing the 86 minutes, and I thought, oh no, that's it. But Jason done really well, cut inside, and Daz got the header, and I think that gave us all the second chance and boosted our confidence, and I think that showed in the extra time.
Airdrie's Andy Smith, the latest to feature in Friday Sports Scene's Who's Baby series, has also sampled the cup final feeling and scored.
Breaks there for Smith, and at the goal for Airdrie!
Probably never scored a better goal Smith with my left foot. You know, I mean, I only use my left foot for standing on in games, but it was a great moment for myself, and it was good for the fans to see us score a goal at Hampden, you know, and they enjoyed it every bit as much as we did. This year, though, we would like to go on better and win the cup, you know, starting Saturday at Raith, and if it draws county, you have a really good chance now of reaching the final and going all the way.
Tomorrow's match at Starks Park is the third cup meeting of Raith and Airdrie this season. The other two have both been settled on penalties. Airdrie won in the B&Q Cup, and the Kirkcaldy team came out on top thanks to teenage keeper Brian Potter on the way to their Coca-Cola triumph. They're two well-matched teams.
How highly do you rate Raith Rovers? How good a side are they?
Without a doubt, they're probably the best footballing side in the division. They've got great pace up front. You know, they've guys like Crawford and Jason Dare and Colin Cameron, who to me is probably the best player in the First Division. So they really are a strong outfit. They're strong all over the park.
Airdrie beat us in the B&Q, they went on to win it. We beat Airdrie in the last cup, we went on to win it. So maybe this is a 4-1 into what's going to happen to this cup as well.
They're very demanding games, very physical, and we've found out already this season that they're very hard to break them down and score against.
Crawford's own future is in as much doubt as the outcome of the cup tie. The Scotland under-21 striker is in big demand, with Rangers at the head of the queue.
Sinclair played it early for Crawford. And that's a great goal for Raith Rovers, scored by Stevie Crawford.
I'm quite happy to see out the season here, and I know that if Raith Rovers are doing well, then I'll be doing well for myself and maybe keeping the speculation and the interest going.
When you see and hear figures like 750,000, £1 million mentioned, are these sort of frightening figures for you?
Really, I just try and forget about the figures. That's up to Raith Rovers, whatever they're wanting for me, and just concentrate and play my football. Because at the end of the day, that's what will get me my move if it does happen.
Well, those are the previews.
Hello, good evening. We're 3/4 way through the Tennent Scottish Cup quarter-finals on the road to Hampden, and all three have been settled at the first time of asking. Celtic, of course, went through last night, brief highlights later, and tonight we feature today's two ties together with FA Cup action from the south, all in the company of Billy McNeill. With one cup in the trophy cabinet already this season, Raith Rovers faced Airdrie with confidence. Their First Division rivals, however, fancied some of the limelight for themselves. At Stennismuir, they don't host cup quarter-finals too often. Hibs were the visitors, and the woodwork was coming to the Giant Killer's rescue. In the FA Cup, it was inspired goalkeeping which kept Wolves alive at Crystal Palace. And we'll have highlights of the dramatic Anfield tie between Liverpool and Tottenham too. But we begin at Starks Park, where tongue-in-cheek claims that Raith Rovers had their eye on an amazing treble were suddenly being taken a lot more seriously as the Coca-Cola Cup holders prepared to face Airdrie for the 6th time this season. Airdrie, themselves cup finalists just 3 years ago, were quietly confident of ending their recent run of defeats at the Fivers' hands. There was congratulations before the match for Jimmy Nicholl when he received the Bell's First Division Manager of the Month trophy. Our commentator is Jock Brown.
A view from Kirkcaldy over the Firth of Forth, but the major interest in the town this afternoon is centred on Starks Park, packed virtually to capacity for yet another cup adventure, and a repeat of the epic Coca-Cola Cup semi-final in October between Raith Rovers and Airdrie at McDermott Park, Perth. 11 of Jimmy Nicholl's 14-man squad experienced the joy of Coca-Cola Cup success in November against Celtic. The odd men out, Danny Lennon, who was injured, Barry Wilson, cup-tied with Ross County, and substitute goalkeeper Ray Allen, a recent recruit at the age of 39 from Motherwell. But there are no places in the starting lineup for old campaigners David Neary or Gordon Dalziel. 21-year-old Stevie Crawford scored the opener against Celtic in the Coca-Cola Cup final, and he's attracting transfer attention from some major clubs. The under-21 international striker has scored 11 goals this season. He joined the club from Rosyth Recreation 3 years ago. 6 of that Airdrie squad were involved in a Tennent Scottish Cup final against Rangers 3 years ago. Goalkeeper John Martin, Sandy Stewart, Paul Jack, Jimmy Boyle, Andy Smith, who scored a fine goal, and substitute Alan Lawrence. But one man who missed that final through suspension was skipper Jimmy Sanderson, whose entire professional career has been spent under the leadership of manager Alec MacDonald, originally with Hearts, then with Airdrie. And the referee this afternoon is Mr. Willie Young from Clarkston. An atmosphere befitting a Tennent Scottish Cup quarter-final tie, and a very bad tackle instantly there by Andy Smith on Daniel Lennon. Well, that's perhaps an indication of the commitment to be shown by both sides this afternoon. Daniel Lennon missed the final against Celtic in the Coca-Cola Cup because of injury, and certainly was a victim of a heavy challenge there. There's Sean Dennis, Raith Rovers skipper, with a free kick. Jason Dare goes down, colliding there with Kenny Black. Well, Airdrie is certainly not known for hanging back when challenges are to be made. And Andy Smith setting a tone there with that first challenge. Well, these sides so familiar to each other. It's their 6th meeting of the season. Raith Rovers having the edge. The only success, in fact, for Airdrie was in the B&Q Cup when they won on penalty kicks. Sanderson's clearance from Rowbottom's throw. There's Dennis. There's Ali Graham with the cross. An early test for John Martin. That was awkward, all right. Well, the Raith Rovers supporters lifted instantly by this fast start on their side. Graham playing it across. John Martin had to adjust his positioning there to palm that to safety. Well, a hectic start to the match. Handball there by Jack. Well, Airdrie committing a series of fouls in the opening 5 minutes as they make their position clear as far as a battle is concerned. Raith Rovers commanding great respect for their footballing ability in the First Division. Cameron fights it in. Chance on there for Dennis. It's off the post. Well, what a let-off that was for Airdrie. From the free kick taken there by Danny Lennon, the ball found its way across off the ricochet to Sean Dennis. The goalkeeper was beaten when that came off the post. Here's Barry Wilson. A fine header by Graham, but John Martin stayed on the line to make the save. Applause from the Raith Rovers supporters. Good wing play by Wilson, a good downward header, and Martin was there. Well, John Martin, you see, stayed on the line all the time, kept his eye on that carefully to get his body behind the ball. The aerial view of Starks Park, packed virtually to capacity. Graham's back heeler not read there by Rowbottom. It's well won by Lennon. Here's Cameron. Cameron battling hard for Raith Rovers, running into Harvey. It was good play by Black. Made space for himself very well indeed. Andy Smith in the charge, met solidly there by Sean Dennis. Now Harvey. Back here with Andy Smith. Lennon's clearance. It's a good pass from Black. Boyle can reach it, which he just manages to do. Bad tackle there by Dare, and Jimmy Boyle reacts angrily. Rowbottom becomes involved for no apparent reason. Well, referee Willie Young has had a very tough match already, right from the first challenge by Andy Smith. He's had to be very alert indeed, and it's Jimmy Boyle's reaction there to the challenge on him which has produced the first yellow card of the match, but I have to suggest that it may well not be the last. You see again what happened. There the challenge by Jason Dare. Jimmy Boyle didn't fancy that too much, and there was his reaction. No complaint about a booking there. Paul Jack. Smith nudging it back for Stewart. Harvey. Black. Now Davis. Here's Boyle in space. Rowbottom's header not very effective, but that's well taken by Harvey, and the save made by Thompson. He adjusted his position very swiftly, but Paul Harvey did very well with his first-time volley. A poor clearing header this by Rowbottom. Harvey took it in the drop with his left foot, and Thompson made a good save. Look at the space here for Harvey after that very soft header out. Rowbottom's interception again. There's still very few opportunities for the creative men in midfield to demonstrate their talents. Cameron and Lennon for Raith Rovers, John Davis and Kenny Black for Airdrie. Long throw from Boyle. Met by Dennis. That's Harvey again. Sweetly struck, but Airdrie are ahead. Well, he had a rehearsal a few minutes ago, Harvey. And this time, Scott Thompson could do nothing about the finish. The long throw there from Jimmy Boyle. Dennis did well enough with the header, it would appear. But then through the ruck of players, Thompson lost sight of that shot from Paul Harvey. And Airdrie take the lead after 22 minutes. There's Dennis at full stretch for the header. Now, Harvey not closed down quickly enough, and Thompson clearly didn't see that until it was too late. Sanderson underneath that. Now, a problem here. Paul Jack committing a foul, I think, and Steve Crawford off the ball. A body check or a bit of holding there. The referee spotted that. That's why it's a free kick. The chance again for Raith Rovers, taken short this time to Robottom, who wants to take that on the volley. Well, frustration in the Raith Rovers ranks without question at this stage in the match. Well, you see Robottom teeing that up for the right foot volley, which he didn't catch properly. Good header by Andy Smith. Here's Steve Cooper. Needs support on the left. Has to check back because none is there. Sinclair did well, but that goes straight to the feet of Sandy Stewart. Cooper there to Davis. It's a superb second for Airdrie. Joy on the Airdrie terraces there. It's been a splendid goal. Sandy Stewart firing this into the danger area. It's a great header down by Steve Cooper, and the half volley by Davis left Thompson without a hope. Well, this is real quality. Airdrie known for spoiling tactics frequently, but this is real class. Cooper's header, the finish there from Davis, rifling into the corner, and Airdrie clearly now well in the driving seat. Ally McDonald entitled to be very pleased indeed with his team's performance in the first half. Oh, it's neat play by Harvey. Could this be the third? There's Cooper. Back to Stewart. Hooked away there by Sinclair. Raith Rovers certainly now on the ropes. Hay thumps that away to safety on the counter-attack for Raith Rovers, but this could easily have been goal number 3 for Airdrie. Paul Harvey's cross. Steve Cooper tried to control this in his chest. It broke back for Sandy Stewart, and that could easily have been touched in by Smith. Well, when you look through the Raith Rovers ranks and see the kind of quality offered by men like Danny Lennon, Colin Cameron, Jason Dare, Barry Wilson, you realise how well they have been negated by Airdrie's tactics. Suggests that it really has been an outstanding Airdrie performance in the first half. There goes Andy Smith, taken right out of the play by Dennis. The referee, I'm sure, will not tolerate that, and it's a first yellow card for a Raith Rovers player in the match. Well, Dennis clearly beaten there by Smith. He knew he was in serious trouble, Dennis, and brought him down. It's on the way well by Sinclair, an awkward bouncing ball on a frisky surface, and referee Young brings the first half to an end. Airdrie undoubtedly the masters in that spell. Paul Harvey getting the opening goal in 22 minutes with a very good volley from Sean Dennis's clearing header, but then a killer goal perhaps coming in 37 minutes from John Davis, who scored superbly and gave Airdrie a lead which they certainly deserve at half-time. It's Raith Rovers 0, Airdrie 2. The Raith Rovers manager Jimmy Nicholl has made one significant change at half-time. Julian Broddle has come on to replace Danny Lennon, and that means some reorganisation of the Raith Rovers ranks. But it's Airdrie full of confidence to start the second half with this vital 2-goal cushion, and the alterations made have been to play Broddle at left back, and Jason Robottom has switched across to the right. There's a shot there from Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey scoring the opening goal, getting a quick chance here at the start of the second half, turning extremely well away from McInnesby, but the shot too direct at Thompson. John Martin's clearance. Helped on there by Steve Cooper. A wrestling match with Sinclair. The decision goes Airdrie's way. Two players very strong and determined, but in the end Sinclair certainly holding on to Cooper's arm. Kenny Black over the ball. And a run by Andy Smith. It's a good header. It's off the crossbar. That could have settled it for Airdrie. Another life for Raith Rovers. Turned away there by Rowbottom. What a great effort on goal that was by Andy Smith to add to his impressive tally for the season. Getting up in this crowded box for a powerful header. Thompson was beaten. Sinclair in trouble, losing out to Harvey. Black looking for Andy Smith, who made a very good run wide in the right. Awkward for Thompson. Good goalkeeping by Scott Thompson. Very awkward indeed in that bare area in front of his goal. Little grass there at all. It was bouncing treacherously towards him. That's very good play. Kenny Black doing well to retain possession for Airdrie. Here's Crawford. The turn pass attempted by Rowbottom. But Raith Rovers currently aside. Look as though they've lost the way. This is Andy Smith. That's a penalty. A very rash challenge right on the byline by Rowbottom. A clear foul by Rowbottom, and none of the Raith Rovers players even attempting a protest. You'll see why here. That was clumsy, out of range and rash. And little danger brewing either. That's born out of frustration, I suspect. So a penalty kick opportunity here for Kenny Black. Already scored in the spot this season for Airdrie. And this surely could tie up this quarter-final for Airdrie. Kenny Black against Scott Thompson. The referee is satisfied. Perfectly taken by Black. Airdrie going ahead. Sure enough, the tie is beyond Raith Rovers. Well, Scott Thompson guessing right, going full length to his left, but the power was there along with the accuracy. Frustration for the young keeper, but he had no chance at all with that. Well, the youngsters there came to see Raith Rovers advance to the semi-final of the Tennant Scottish Cup. That hope dashed, though, I think, by this Airdrie performance. Harvey's headed inside. Here's Smith. John Davis is well forward. It's cut off by Sinclair. Rowbottom. Tackled swiftly by Andy Smith. Good play by Andy Smith. Jack lofts it forward. Sinclair losing out there to Cooper. Dennis gives cover. And an exchange there between Dennis and Cooper. Now Sean Dennis is going to be ordered off. He's been booked already. It's a red card for the Raith Rovers captain to complete their day of misery. Off the ball, he clashed with Steve Cooper. He was the initial challenge. Now after that was all over, the exchange took place here. Well, this is what caused the problem. The referee already on his way to take action. So Dennis is ordered off. Back from Crawford to Cameron. So much expected of this pair. They've struggled this afternoon. Cameron's pass, that's Graham. Lashed away by Black. Cooper looking for Harvey. Well, not a bad idea that from long range. He knew that Scott Thompson was well off his line and that if he missed, a lot of time would be wasted. Well, he needed substantial accuracy there, which he couldn't quite provide. Here's Paul Harvey. Oh, that's a great effort by Harvey. Oh, that's terrific play by Paul Harvey, capping a marvellous performance. Well, just rubbing salt in the wound. What an incredible goal by Harvey. Getting the break of the ball off Sinclair. Holding off that challenge from Broddle. He knew exactly where the goalkeeper would be and beat him from 19 yards. Superbly. Oh, that was a gem. A real gem from Harvey. The second of the match. Alan Lawrence has a chance to make a little impact towards the end. A very lively forward against the depleted defence. A little more trouble over the far side there. Stewart and Rowbottom not too pleased with each other. Referee Young will try to calm this down, but he's going to have to take a card in the top pocket. Tells Kenny Black to remove himself from the whole incident. Well, it's been a little bit ill-tempered and untidy right from the start. Yellow card for Stewart and for Rowbottom. That's a good free kick. Callie Graham is there and it's turned in by Cameron. Some joy in front of goal at long last for Raith Rovers. Cameron and Ball Jack having a few words there because Jack had been a catch Cameron as he retrieved the ball. And a very well whipped in free kick that. Ali Graham did well. Martin in a position as Cameron nodded home. But surely much too late to have any impact on the proceedings. And that goal coming 6 minutes from the end. Hand used there by McInnesby. Well, Steve Cooper wants something to say, but McInnesby's in trouble for deliberate handball there. A yellow card it is. Well, counting up these yellow cards, that's the 7th, I reckon, of the match. And an ordering off as well. So a chance again for Airdrie, for Kenny Black to demonstrate his shooting power perhaps, or Jimmy Boyle. That's great effort there by Kenny Black. It's back off the post. Well, a stunning free kick that from Kenny Black. And Raith Rovers relieved to see that come out. Well, the place in the semi-final already decreed for Airdrie, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think that Raith Rovers would appreciate losing a 5th goal like this. But look at the way that was thundered wide of the wall, and Scott Thompson full stretch couldn't get there. See that going wide of the wall, straight like an arrow at the post. Scott Thompson almost beaten for the 5th time. Well, the tackle's still flying in, and the yellow card flashed again before the red for McInnesby. Raith Rovers have lost their discipline entirely now. Stephen McInnesby ordered off 3 minutes from the end. Second booking in a very short space of time. The roof has fallen in on Jimmy Nicholl. Alan Lawrence want to take that to corner flag, I suspect. Nips it back across the penalty area. It's picked up easily though by David Sinclair. Gordon Dial. Now Crawford. Once Broddle to come short. Tackled quickly by Davis. That's Black. Gets the break of the ball. This is Davis. Back now towards Jimmy Sanderson. And now Black. Calm possession play by Airdrie. They've ended the match as they began in total command. Alec MacDonald shakes hands there with Jimmy Nicholl. It's been a triumph for his organisation and tactics. Airdrie were outstanding throughout that 90-minute period. They started with some very determined play at the back, then an inspiration provided principally by Paul Harvey, who scored 2 magnificent goals. But at no stage after the opening goal did they look to be in trouble. Their supporters celebrated in style behind the goal. For Jimmy Nicholl, the nightmare of this particular match is over. It's Raith Rovers 1, Airdrie 4.
What was the key factor in the match for you? To be honest with you, I think it was Paul Harvey. I think we pressured very well, the whole team early doors, but I think Paul's bit of skill, I think that was the difference. You did seem to give him a totally free role to support the front men. Was that the plan?
Yeah, that's right. That's the type of player Paul is. You don't want to put him under pressure by talking tactics, so you just let him do what he's good at, and he's done that tremendously today. He scored the goal. You know, he's done really well today.
Well, there weren't any great shakes the whole game apart from the initial 12, 15 minutes, like I said. You know, we weren't brilliant at the start of the second half. But at 2-0 you think you might just get a wee scrappy goal or something. And at 3-0 you think, well, all hope's gone. Right, that's it. Well, just blow the whistle now and don't let us suffer any more than what we're suffering. We've had enough day, we'll accept this here. Couldn't have criticised them too much if it had come up the park beaten and they made the effort to get in the game without having the bookings and sendings off against us, you know. But they're making life very hard for themselves and for us as a club to achieve what we want to achieve, you know.
Is that the saddest part for you today, the fact you lost Sean Dennis and Stephen McInnesby towards the end?
Yes, and all the wee niggly bits that went on. And the bit that it disappoints me is we're going to be facing that again between now and the end of the season. We've got to handle it, you know. And I just hope they learn from today, you know. And not overcritical about the defeat. I can accept defeat, providing it always shares a way of losing, you know. But the way we lost today was hard to take because we didn't play well and end up with 9 men.
Jimmy Nicholl, characteristically honest, but a really bad day for Raith. But what a wonderful day for Airdrie. They thoroughly deserved it, Billy.
Well, it was. Alex Wright, Paul Harvey really played very well in the game. Took his goals so well. Very important, that first goal particularly. But he controlled midfield, and I think that was where Airdrie really scored. Yeah. They had a lot of workers, but he had a little bit of skill and a little bit of class that on the day Raith lacked.
Yeah, their attitude seemed right from the off. They've now reached 4 semi-finals in 4 years, which is a remarkable record for Alex MacDonald, isn't it?
Well, that's right. He has done so very well with Airdrie. You know that obviously his prime objective will be trying to get into the Premier League, but he'll be delighted that once again he's in the semi-final.
Talk us through the goals, Billy. 4 of them from the Airdrie point of view, and all praiseworthy, but all down to defensive mistakes as well.
Well, that was a lovely strike, but you know, Sean Dennis has headed the ball back into an area where there's always likely to be an opponent, and the goalkeeper just hasn't got a chance because there's a whole posse of players in front of him. But all credit to Paul Harvey. He didn't try to blast it, he just controlled it. And here, this is disappointing defending for Raith Rovers. Good enough ball into the middle, but look at the defending here. 3 defenders attracted to the ball. There's little John Davis in his own, good finish. Again, you see it. If you watch the defenders getting drawn towards the one player, nobody really picking up in a key area. But all credit to Airdrie at that point. But this is again, you know, there's not a lot of dangers here, and it really is a rash challenge. Another yard might have forced the player out of play with the ball, but nice executed penalty kick. But this one's a real bit of quality and a bit of class. You know, he knows exactly what he's after. He knows the goalkeeper's off his line and judges that lob to perfection. But he did that all afternoon. He tried one from the halfway line. I think he got carried away with himself. Thought he was Pelé for a wee minute or two. But this is magnificent. Beautiful chip. That's a bit of class in any company.
It certainly is. Well, I'm sure that Sean Dennis and Steve McInnesby were having a miserable enough Saturday night. We'll not compound it by showing the sending off offences, but it was obviously disappointing, as Jimmy said, to finish with 9 men.
Well, I thought Jimmy came out with that a lot of credit because he would be disappointed at losing, but I think he was more disappointed in the manner in which they lost, and they lost the place just a little bit, and they have a lot of games to play, and they want promotion as well. And you know, when players get sent off and get booked, it makes life difficult.
It certainly does. But